Okay, in this anti-communist protest, one of citizens of London, and she will give us our opinion about what she thinks about the communist system. Nice to meet you, and thank you so much for sharing your opinion.
Yeah, so basically I think that like what you're describing here is basically the capitalist system, because the right to freedom is constantly violated under capitalism, because like you have to work so much, and it is basically slavery, like the ours, and especially for low income families and low income households, this is like their rights are constantly violated. And for example, in America there's no healthcare, and it's like the super capitalistic system,
That
right?
is true, but in North America, anyone die without medical attention because I'm living in there. But instead, what you say, the communist system is equality for everybody. Did you live in any country communist?
No, I have not, but I have.
But I am, because I'm from Cuba. And if you see my country in 1599, and now you can
No,
see...
but okay, this is because like it's not just because that it was a communist
my question
country.
is,
It was because of the United States.
Are you living? No, that is not true. The United States is not
The
blocked.
embargo.
No, that's
No,
not
there's
true.
no
The
embargo.
The embargo is only for some militaries and for business in Cuba. But the embargo in Cuba have Coca-Cola. In Cuba have chicken. All the chicken that the people eat in Cuba is from the United States. So the embargo is not affecting that.
Then also it's not really a communist system if it still has relations to capitalist companies and capitalist countries, right?
But,
and also
but
like
you don't
can't isolate a country.
You don't think it's so easy to be a communist in a country capitalist like here, because it's more easily when you have milk in the Asda and Tesco, you have water, clean water. You know, in people in this moment in Santiago de Cuba is probably more than 13 people is dying.
Why
it's not
is
dying.
that?
It's illness. Sorry, it's not dying.
It is the material conditions of the country. It's not really because of communism.
But in this case, do you really think that people go to the sea and go on the boat ships in there because they want to live in the communist system, because they live in very well in the communist system? You thinking that?
But right now, we can't really describe the Cuba situation as a communist country, because like you can't really have a communist country in a capitalistic world. Like this whole idea is that you need to have like an international communist system, so that there are no borders, and it's all human beings are basically equal.
But do you see in the pictures, probably because you have internet, you see all the buildings is cracked down. And so in 15 years, the Cuban government, you know, now in the COVID time, in Cuba, the Cuban government is building for tourist hotels, but they don't building hospitals. They don't have oxygen. You know, the basic oxygen for breathe. They don't provide that, and so many people. You know,
but like
if
you
we
have to look underneath that problem, because why is that? Why is Cuba not having enough material?
Because they don't want it. The government don't want it. That is simple answer.
It's not that. It's not that the government does not want it. And I'm sorry, I don't really know about Cuba. And like we can't really describe Cuba as like a communist, like a definite communist country right now. So like from just looking at Cuba, you can't really say communism is equal to that. Actually, capitalism is equal to that.
No.
Like, look at the United States. Look at the homelessness.
The homelessness
rate. Like, people are living on the streets. People are suffering. People do not have like free medical care.
No, that is not true. That is when I'm rebating you, because the people in the hospital in the United States is not die anyone without. The homeless is have welfare, medical welfare, is Medicaid. So anyone is dying in United
People
States.
go homeless
But
because they're sick in the United States.
living, my best recommendation is go 1 week to Venezuela or go 1 week on Cuba, but not going like a tourist, going like a people living there. When you're doing that, I will give you and provide my telephone number.
Okay.
And really, when you're doing that, I will appreciate it if you came here and you change.
I was actually hoping to go to Bolivia right now.
That is true, but Bolivia at the moment, finally, they don't have any communists. Evo Morales is go because the country and the people, because when they pretending to change the constitution, the people say no, and they go out. But I invite you with all my heart, because when you don't know nothing and you only listen about what do you thinking is the system communist, my best recommendation is go. Bolivia probably is not at the moment the best example. It's a poor country, but it have the freedoms, democratic freedoms for everybody is allowed it. So in Cuba, the people can say, many people like you, very young like you, at the moment for say, Don Castro Comunista, they go in the prison 8 to 27 years.
Also,
Can you
I
imagine that?
recommend you that you go to the United States, and you don't have to live like the people.
I live in the United States. I live in Florida.
Just observe, not Florida. Let's say like a city that has like a very high homelessness rate. Just go there and look around, and how miserable the people's lives are.
But
under
that is a choice of
capitalism.
life. That is a choice of life, because in this country you have like near here in front of the
Yes, because this is a
communist.
very
But
rich
and
wealthy
in this
area.
country anyone is unprotected. The government is protect the people here. So if you
Yes,
go to the
I've just
hospital,
seen like homeless people
but it's
begging for money on the street.
It's her
This-
own decision
this
to
cold
living in the
weather.
street. It's the people decide in this country. The people decide. This country is very capitalist, but everybody is protecting in the society, and it's not communist.
How are they protected if they have to sleep on the streets, and if they have like no? They
I
have not,
have
in this
very,
country
very,
you have to pay for education, and if you have to you start with zero money, let's say, and you don't have money to pay for your education, so how are you supposed to climb up the ladders of capitalism?
I study here and I don't pay nothing. I study journalism here and I don't pay nothing. So that's it.
No,
I live in Manchester.
Let's say, okay, do you live in Florida or Manchester?
I live in Florida, in both of them
Okay,
places.
okay.
So that's it.
So let's say you are born here, right?
No, I'm not born here.
Okay, let's say
I'm born in
just
Cuba.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's
I can
imagine
Yeah.
a scenario, a person who's born here from a low-income family, and they cannot support their children to provide them with education, right?
Yeah.
How are they supposed to get like a high wage paying job and get rid of that like class? So if you're born into a class, you stay in that class, and there's no way out if it's not an exception. If you don't work yourself to your death.
Sorry, but I don't agree with you, because if you born in a poor position in the life, but if you listen and you learn in the school, you have a lot of opportunities, because this country is protect everybody. The universal credit is protect to the families with half low income. I know that, but apart from that, in the school they have evaluating classroom for know what you pretending in the life in the future, and all the families here, I think, is have a very, very good benefits to welfare for children, for families. Even those I know is have some economical problem, and maybe some ones in COVID is not was protected like they really deserve or something. I agree with that, but here here in London, you can go here on the street and you can speak with me very fluently, and you can say what you want to say, and it's not have any problem. In the communist countries like Cuba, they don't have the choice that. So you need to follow the instruction of PCC's party communist government. So if you don't do that, if you are obsessed with the government, they leave you in prison. That's it, easily. I recommend you.
Yeah, that's
really.
the same in Turkey.
Exactly.
I get that, what you're saying. But Turkey is like, it's not a communist
I
country.
recommend
It's not
you.
about
I
that.
recommend you.
You
What's
know
your
what?
name?
It's about the
What's
government.
Your name? What's your name?
Berja.
Berlia. I recommend you. Go and country communist and living for more than 3 weeks. 3 weeks.
Okay.
Like
I would love that,
an
actually.
Thank you so much for everything.
Thank
Really.
you.
Thank you.
I disagree with what